to the nations. Back at you all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Bahashem, Ruach HaKadosh, double honors to the bishops, the apostles, the preachers out here pushing and preaching the truth, peace, and salutation to the hopeful elect. Again, we're doing this series on the book of Revelation, the prophecy of Revelation, and breaking it down. Okay, I already got chapter 1, the introduction, and the first church, Ephesus, already on this channel, and we're getting ready to go into the second church, which would be Smyrna. So let's get right into it. Revelation chapter 2, verse 8, and unto the angel of the church in Smyrna. Smyrna. Like I said, this video, we're dealing with the church now in Smyrna. We are stepping into a whole different dispensation of time outside of Ephesus dispensation of time and dealing with Smyrna. To reiterate, you always look at it from a literal, from a dispensational, spiritual standpoint. So again, unto the angel of the church in Smyrna, Yahweh Shah is mapping out to us what's about to happen before it even happened with this church down in Smyrna. And I want you to know this is not just history. I don't want you looking at this from an ancient history, even though we supposed to, but I'm going to make it relevant to today and what we are dealing with today as it relates to the hopeful elect. So this is just not ancient history, but it's the Most High showing us how he trains a congregation, how he trains a camp, how he trains a church through fire. I want you to know that this Smyrna, this congregation that was down in Smyrna in Asia Minor, okay, it is a representation of the persecuted church. Remember, when we go back up to Ephesus, this is the beginning, okay? The beginning of the church, Ephesus. But down here in Smyrna, this is a representation of the persecuted church, which stems from 100 AD to around 313 AD. And this is when our forefathers, the Israelites, were scattered throughout the Roman Empire. And they were getting hit with all type of hell, with all type of false accusation, all type of executions. And Rome was systematically targeting the Israelites during this dispensation of time, the Smyrna, the persecuted church dispensation of time. Okay? So, unto the angel of the church in Smyrna, write these things, say the first and the last, hallelujah, which was dead and is alive. I want y'all to walk with me, line upon line, precept upon precept, okay? These things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. Before Yahweh Shah even speaks on the struggle of the church of Smyrna, before he even go into detail in how he praised the church. For I want you to see this. Unlike Ephesus, this church right here, Smyrna, the Most High don't rebuke. He don't rebuke this church at all. He rebuked Ephesus. Y'all remember when he said, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, Ephesus, because thou hast left thy first love. So he rebuked the church of Ephesus, but down here in Smyrna, he don't give this church no rebuke. He praised this church for their ability to endure persecution. Okay, but before he go into all of that, before he go into detail, and before he go into prophecy, and before he go into the rewards that you will receive when you endure persecution, he said, let me remind you of something. He said, write these things unto the church down in Smyrna and let them know the first and the last, he which was dead and is alive, is saying this. And he ain't talking about a pastor that wrote this epistle. No, not down to Smyrna. He ain't talking about no rabbi. He ain't talking about no Roman governor at that time. He ain't talking about no Caesar. He said, listen here, I the first and the last, I who was dead and is alive, I'm letting you know about some things. Listen to what it said, the first and the last. This just showing you that he's the one that outranked death. He's the one that Rome can't cancel. He's the one that this Babylonian system, this matrix system can't cancel. He's the one that he letting them know that Rome couldn't do away with. Rome couldn't erase. Rome couldn't keep down. He's letting them know, I am the one that went into the grave. I slapped death in the mouth and I walked out of the grave on the third day. It's me that's letting you know these things. He's ultimately telling Smyrna, you're dealing with persecution, but your Elohim, in other words, Yahweh, already destroyed the thing that you fear. Watch how he put this text. He said, these things, Father the pointing on the screen on the left side, these things self the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. He letting you know you may be fearing death. You may about to face death, but let you know I already conquered it. I already defeated it. I already overcame it. The very thing that you people fear the most, I already took care of it. He's let them know this by saying, I am the first. I'm your starting point. I am the last. Everything ends with me. I was dead. I experienced death, but I am alive. Don't you fear death. I already conquered the grave. I already slapped the grave. I already told death, where is your victory? Now he let them know this before he go into what he about to go into. Watch this, verse 9. I know. Thank be unto Yahweh that he knows. And if I can stop right here to let you know, he know everything that you're dealing with. He know the troubles that you're dealing with. He know the struggles you're dealing with. He know the heartbreak that you're dealing with. He know the circumstances you're dealing with. He know the slack that you're dealing with. He know all of the pain and heartache that you're dealing with. He said, I know. I'm the first and I'm the last. Matter of fact, he put it like this. Matter of fact, let me go over here. Okay. Since the precept come to my mind, let's go there. Right on the right side. Follow me on the right side. Wow, I love going through the book of Revelation. There's so much in here. But look at this precept. Verse 9, remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there's none else. I am Yahweh, and there's none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. Oh, Yahweh shot right here saying the same thing. I'm the first and I'm the last. He knows. This ought to make you happy. This ought to make you glad because he declared your end from the beginning. If he allow you to go through it, you best to believe there's an end mark of that trial, of that tribulation that you're dealing with. He knows. And listen to what he goes on to say. I know, verse 9, follow me, that works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemer then would say they are Jews. Oh, we gonna deal with this, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So let's look at this. I know thy works. In other words, he reminding them again, I see the grind that nobody is praising you for. I see the tears you have to wipe before people even notice. I see your poverty. Listen, it's right here on the screen. I see your struggle. I see your lack. And you got people come on here and try to tell you, pull yourself up by the strap of your boots. They'll try to tell you you're in poverty because you're lazy or you're slothful. They'll try to tell you you're in poverty because you don't have no degree. You're in poverty because you have no education. No. This ain't what Yahweh Shah said. He said, I know thy works. You're not lazy. I know your tribulation. I know what they're doing to you. I know your poverty. I see everything. You ain't lazy. The system is rigged against the righteous. And this is what a lot of you need to know. He said, I know the system is rigged against you. I know they put stuff in place to keep you down. I know they enacted laws to keep you down. I know they came up with policies to keep you down. I know all the things they're doing behind the scene. The system is rigged against you, but I know your poverty. I know about it. I know what you're dealing with. And I want you to notice something here. Watch how he point out. I know that works in tribulation and poverty. This is speaking to a group of people that's suffering persecution. Watch how he paint this up before he goes into saying the people that claim to be Jews. Listen, he said, I know who my real people is. I know who the real identity of my people is. They are put in work. They are suffering persecution, and at large, they are in poverty. He's describing a people that's under captivity, not a people that's controlling governments. Oh, I'm hitting on some things right here. Huh? Not a people that's controlling governments, not a people that's controlling the banking system, not a people that's controlling the media, not a people that's controlling world affairs. He said, no, my people, they have worse. They are in tribulation and they are impoverished. He let them know right here in this text who the real Jews are. He said, the real Jews, I know your work. The real Jews, I know the tribulation that you're going through. The real Jews, I know the poverty that you're dealing with. He's speaking to a persecuted people. Just like I remind you again, that church of Smyrna was a persecuted dispensation of time. Just like today, the people of the Most High is still being persecuted one way or another. He said, I know your works. I know the tribulation. I know the poverty that you're dealing with. He said the real Jews right here, they are oppressed. They are not ruling. Huh? They are suffering tribulations. They are not ruling, but it goes on to say, but I know something here. You are really rich. What is he saying here? Even though you're in poverty, yeah, he said you're rich. Even though you don't got a lot of money, he's still saying you're rich. Even though he said you impoverished, he's still saying you're rich. Even though you're struggling financially, he's still saying you're rich. Even though you can't get your hands on line of credit, can't get your hands on loans, he's still saying you're rich. But thou art rich. What do you mean, Yahweh Shai? Don't you see I don't got a lot of money in my bank account? Don't you see I don't got a lot of money in my 401k? Don't you see I don't got a lot of resources? I don't got a lot of precious metals? But here you telling me I'm rich. I need help. What is you saying, Yahweh Shai? He said, even though I see your work and you're not being rewarded truly for your works, even though I see you undergoing tribulation, even though I see you in poverty, you're rich. You're not rich in money paper. But you're rich in spirit. You're rich in discipline. You're rich in character. You're rich in faith. You're rich in the currency where heaven respects. A lot of you too busy trying to be rich, but the Most High said, no. Even though you may not get rich on this side of heaven, you're truly rich if you have a prayer life with Yahweh. You're truly rich if you fast. You're truly rich if you seek the face of the Most High. You're truly rich if you call on the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach Bahashem, Ruach HaKadosh. You're truly rich if you're in this truth. He about to go on and expose them. He's saying, listen here, I got to tell you, my people, they put in works as it relates to the truth, as it relates to being in the elect. He said, my people, they always suffering tribulation. My people always dealing with poverty. He painted a picture here, and then he goes on to say, I know. The blasphemer then will say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. You have a group of people that's walking around here, that's upon this earth right now, that's saying they are Jews, but the scripture says, Yahweh Shai said, I know the blasphemer them, they are not Jews, they are nothing but the synagogue of Satan. Meaning they blaspheme everywhere they go. These Jews that Yahweh Shai is talking about, they are imposters claiming divine identity. They are religious sellouts. They align with the Roman Empire. which is extending over here to America, modern day Babylon. He say, I know them that blaspheme and say they are Jews. He said, these are the people who wear spiritual titles. Oh, look at Roman Catholicism, but serve the oppressor. Look at these first fake Jews that's into Judaism. He said, I know the blaspheming them that say they are Jews. They pretending to be righteous while pushing wickedness. Oh, you need to listen to me. He said, I know the blaspheming them which say they are Jews. They are infiltrators inside a community, betraying the real elect. He said, I know them which blaspheme and claim to be Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now watch this. Let's fix this thing up some more. You look at the so-called Jews today, they in power. They're not dealing with no tribulation. They're not dealing with no poverty. They control the banking system. Why the real Jews of the Most High suffering persecution, suffering tribulation, suffering racism, suffering all type of oppression. He said, but the ones that claim it to be Jews, which are really the synagogue of Satan, they are the one that's rich in this society. My people are broke in this Babylonian system, but the people that claim it to be Jews, they are rich in this society. And what is they doing with their rich? And they spending trillions of dollars to keep you distracted, spending trillions of dollars to keep you confused, spending trillions of dollars to keep you destroyed, because they know that when you start waking up and accept your birthright, you're going to begin to be able to walk in truth and not fall victim to their lies. And they know when you walk in the truth, that's why they spend so much money lying. That's why they spend so much money trying to keep you confounded. That's why they spend so much money to keep you distracted. And how do they keep you distracted? They keep you distracted with entertainment. I got a channel, and every now and then I got to talk about basketball. Every now and then I got to talk about boxing to keep people coming in order to get their ear on one of my channels I got. Because people is distracted with entertainment. They are distracted with nonsense. Every now and then I got to talk about people in the music industry just to get people in the reel them in so I can give them the truth. Why? Because people is caught up with distraction. The Cardi B's distraction, the Megan Thee Stallion distraction, the LeBron James, the Bronny James distractions, the Michael Jordan's distractions, the P. Diddy stuff distraction, the Jay-Z's and Denzel. They are distractions. They spend trillions of dollars to keep you distracted rather. It goes on and says, let's get some more there. I know the blaspheming them which say they are Jews. I understand this ain't no metaphor. He's prophetically speaking. Not only was he prophetically speaking in that day and time, because you had some Hellenistic people that were trying to be Judaizers. You during that time, you had some people that were trying to assimilate themselves with the Hebrew Israelites in that time. And when they assimilated themselves with the Hebrew Israelites in that time, they was reporting back to Rome what the people of the Most High was doing. They came in among the Hebrew Israelites as spies to report back to Rome. And you see the same thing going on today. You got spies in the camps. You got spies in the true church of the Most High, and they reporting back to this Babylonian system what they are doing so they can keep them further persecuted. Oh, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Share this video with somebody, because our people need to hear the truth. He said, I know the blaspheming them, which say they are Jews. He ain't speaking on metaphorically about this. No, he's speaking literally. I know them that say they are Jews. In other words, the Most High, through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, these words is in red, Yahweh Shah said there is a group that exists that claim it to be Jews, but they are not. Who are those? Must I reiterate? These are the same so-called Jews that control media, the same So-called Jews that's controlling central banking networks, the same so-called Jews that's controlling Hollywood and entertainment filters, these so-called Jews that's controlling political influence behind the scenes, these same so-called Jews that's controlling the hysterical narrative. They then got so afraid, they got so scared that they even trying to take this information out of your school books because they want to keep you sedated. They want to keep you docile. They want to keep you confused. They want to keep you dumb down. You gotta excuse me. I'm a preacher. I'm a preacher. I'm trying to wake you up. They control these so-called Jews. The educational and theological institutions. That's why I tell y'all, you preachers that go to these seminary schools, they ain't nothing but cemetery schools. They are put in shop. They are put in place. They are put in position to keep you further away from the truth. They ain't telling you in these seminary schools who the real Hebrew Israelites is. They are not telling you who the real Jews are. They're not telling you the truth of the scripture. They are keeping you dumb down. You go to these seminary schools, like I like to call them cemetery schools, they tell you the Old Testament is done away. You don't have to keep the law. They're keeping you dumb down. They'll tell you the apocryphal books ain't real. They'll keep you dumb down because they want to keep you further away from the truth, further away from prophecy. I know them that blaspheme, which say they are Jews. These same so-called Jews, all they doing is trying to claim and steal a birthright because they know by stealing the birthright, they know by stealing the identity, where the scripture said, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. They know you're going to abide by that. So if they stole the identity, if they're able to assimilate themselves into that identity, they know they'll be able to control the world, because a lot of people, especially Christians, don't want to do nothing against these so-called Jews because they think the so-called Jews is the real people. But Yahushua said they ain't real. I know them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. That's why every time you turn away, who's in control of these mass murders? Who's in control of the gentrifications that's going on? Who was in control of the sharecropping? Who was in control of the Jim Crow law? Who was in control of the red line? Who was in control of all the lies and scheming that's going on behind the scene? These so-called Jews put the Federal Reserve back into the so-called Jews. They got everybody in debt to the system. The so-called Jews. Yahushua say, cry loud, spare not. I know the blaspheming them which say they are Jews and are not. They are the synagogue of Satan. You have to understand, these are the same ones Yahushua pointed out. We're going to get to the rest of it. I got to deal with this thing. This is the same one Yahushua pointed out about claiming to be Jews. These are the same ones that took the land in 1948, talk about prophecy was fulfilled. No, when you study prophecy, the scripture let us know we're not going back to our land. We're not going back to the promised land. We're not going back over there until Yahushua cracked this sky open and called this world to order. So how in the world they went back in the land in 1948? They talk about they fulfilling prophecy. That was nothing but a lie to deceive the world and to get more of a foothold in the world system. He said, I know the blasphemers now will say they are Jews and are not. These are the same ones that rebranding themselves as the chosen people, but yet at the same time weaponize the identity for political and economical dominance. Who's controlling everything? Who making decisions? Who's calling the shots of everything? These so-called Jews that stole the identity. And they weaponized the identity for dominance. They weaponized the identity for political power. They weaponized the identity for economical power. They weaponized the identity to keep people in fear. They just claiming the name. Why they build a whole international protective system to guard them in their wickedness. Oh, I wish y'all pray with me a little bit. Watch what he goes on to say. We got to move on. He said, I know them that blaspheme them, which say they are Jews are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. He's cutting them right here. He said they claiming to be Jews. Come on, look at it. The ones that want you to go out here and commit abortion. Look at it. The ones that's using these banking system to keep you down. Look at it. The ones that's giving the okay for all of these different atrocities to happen against you. Look at it. He said they claiming to be Jews, but they are the synagogue of Satan. I didn't say this. This is what the book said. This is what Yahweh said right here in the scriptures. Synagogue. That's another word that means religious assembly, leadership, class, institutional bodies. You know, when Yahweh was here on earth, he went to the synagogue where the Jews always resort. Okay, it's where people come together. But watch what he said. They are the synagogue of Satan. And Satan mean adversary. Satan mean opposer. Satan mean the deceiver. Satan mean the accuser. So he is telling you, even though they're claiming to be Jews, their identity structure is rooted in deception, and their institutions serve the adversary agenda. That's all he's telling you. In other words, the synagogue of Satan, he said they have a fake identity, fake righteousness, fake chosenness. They have fake spiritual authority. They got fake power, fake deception. Everything they do is anti-Hamashiach. In other words, anti-Christ. Yeah, I know some of you going to talk about this is conspiracy. This ain't conspiracy. This is right here in the scripture. I know the blaspheming damn which say they are Jews or not, but are the synagogue of Satan. They come up with all type of lies. They come up with all type of schemes. They come up with all type of wicked devices. They come up with all type of wiles of the devil. You know, Ephesians chapter 6 said that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. They come up with all type of wiles of the devil. They are a synagogue of Satan. And as being a synagogue of Satan, they have done a lot of things to the people of the Most High. They have stole the people of the Most High name. They have stole the people of the Most High land. Go over there, look in Africa, extracting all the resources and all of the good minerals. They have stole everything. They stole the name. They stole our land. They stole our book. This is why a lot of you simps, a lot of you jakes out here talk about, I don't believe in the Bible. That's a white man book. No, it ain't no white man book. They stole our books and used it and weaponized it against us. They stole our heritage. They changed our name. They stole our image. Let me see if I can help you here. I'm in the teacher mode now. Let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 3. Let's see. It's going to tell you. You talking about, what you mean they stole our image? Here it is, Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. And lay open the book of the what? The law, wherein the heathen have sought to paint the likeness of their images. They stole our land. They stole our identity. They stole our image. The scripture said these bastards, the ones that claim to be Jews, they lay open the book of our law. They opened up the book of our scriptures. These heathen, they sought to paint the likeness of their images. What is the likeness of their images? Let's go there. We here. We come back. Let's go here. There we go. We're going to bring up this image. Look at that. Caesarea Borgia. How you pronounce it don't matter. Okay. You see that? Who do this image look like? I told you they stole our image. Who do this image look like? Let's bring this up. Where the modern depictions of Jesus based on Caesarea Borgia, they stole our land, they stole our identity, and they even stole our image. First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48 say they lay open our books of the law. The heathen did it, and they painted the likeness of their image. You see this right here? Let's type it in. Let's type in Jesus. Jesus. Huh? Huh? You see that? They painted the likeness of their face. Look at that. Hmm? Look at that. Caesarea Borgia, the ruthless Renaissance. Ah, I told you it was prophesied. It was prophesied. You know, the Renaissance is the legend of the new birth or coming to the light from the dark ages. Why they called it the dark ages? You think it was the dark ages because they was without knowledge or they was without understanding. It was called the dark ages because our people ruled during that time. That's why they call it Dark Ages and they call it Renaissance, the rebirthing of days. That's when you start seeing the maps turn upside down. That's why when you start really seeing the world turn upside down, that's when they start calling good evil, evil good. That's when they start using all type of media, all type of political avenues to deceive and to conquer the world. Caesarea Borgia, the ruthless Renaissance conqueror who may have inspired a modern image of what we commonly call Jesus. And if you go look at the first video of the breakdown of Revelation chapter 1, you understand that this is not the image that Yahweh shall look like. This is a damn lie. That's why in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, starting at the 10th verse all the way to the end of the chapter, it talk about those of you who don't believe the truth, you don't believe the truth so that you may believe a damnable lie. That's why a lot of you damn right now. I remember the times coming up, how we inherit lies. Go look at Jeremiah. Let me get back to the book. We got to go to some precepts now. There you go. It talk about how we inherit lie. We inherit these lies. We ask for these lies. We inherit these lies. And this is part of prophecy. Oh, Yahweh. And bring out so y'all see, oh Yahweh, verse 19, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in their affliction. The Gentiles should come unto thee from the ends of the earth and should say, surely our fathers have inherited lives. When they talk about Gentiles, talk about us Hebrew Israelites outside the land. We are outside the land over here in America. We're outside the land. We consider Gentiles. Okay? Listen, it's going to say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity and vain, wherein there is no profit. When it say we have inherited lies, how did you inherit lies? Watch this. Many of you so-called black men and so-called black women, you're going to be able to attest to this. Even the heathen going to be able to attest to this. This is how you inherit lies. Watch this. When you was born, huh? You're born, they bring you home. Then a year go by, you start walking. And then 2 years go by, you speaking mama, dad. Then the third year, you look at that pictures and you look at the picture on the wall. This is how you hear lies. You say, dad, mama, who is that on the wall? You see Martin Luther King on one side, and on the other side, you see what they said was Jesus Christ. You inherit lies. You inherit lies. That ain't Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. I just read to you. Let me go back over here. This is how we inherit lies. All the book is together. It says right here in verse 48, 1 Maccabees chapter 3, and lay open the book of law, wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their image. They took the scriptures and they painted everybody the likeness of their image. Prophecy being fulfilled. And you go right here, that prophecy fulfilled, and Yahweh Shah reiterating that prophecy to be fulfilled. He said, I know them that claim to be Jews are not, but the synagogue of Satan. That Caesarea Borgia picture is a synagogue of Satan. We inherit lies, my brother. We inherit lies, my sister. You go into some of the churches coming up, you're 5 years old, you're 7 years old, you go to church and they got this Caesarea Borgia hanging up there above the baptism pool with them stained glass. We inherit lies. I know them that say they're Jews. I know them that claim to be the people. I know them that stole the land. I know them that stole your identity. I know them that stole your image. I know them that stole your riches. They ain't nothing but a synagogue of Satan. But thanks be unto Yahweh, they can steal the land. They can steal the identity as much as they possibly can. They can steal the image. But one thing they can't steal prophecy. No matter what they do, no matter how much they try. This is why the people is afraid right now. This is why you got the elites going on air talking about they wish they never let the internet out to the people. They wish social media and all these streaming platforms would have never got big as they were, because they wanted to keep you docile. They wanted to keep you sedated. They wanted to keep you under lies. They wanted to keep you deceptive. But one thing they can't stop prophecy from being fulfilled. I love Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, because he put it right here to let us know that the days is coming, not only in the 100 AD through 313 AD, but also in the last days, because we did it with this thing spiritual, and now we did it with this thing in a revelatory way. Not only then, but don't you know, everything coming back full circle. Look at my people right now, they're suffering. Look at my people right now, they're in the slums. Look at my people right now, they're in the ghettos. Look at my people right now at large, they are living in the poverty, but the so-called Jews, they at the top of the chain. They are the elites, and they are still perpetuating the works and devices of Satan, but prophecy is being fulfilled. He let us know, my people who's in the truth, my people who have bit the true knowledge of good, the true knowledge of evil, my people have bitten off the tree of wisdom. They know that these people are the synagogue of Satan. Let's go on. I can stay there because I know we ain't hear lies. You go to Sunday school, you look at the pictures. They got a white picture of Moses. They got a white picture of David. They got a white picture of Solomon. They got a white picture of Jesus. They got a white picture of the apostles. We inherit lies. But the prophet of two nations is on here. The brothers out in the truth is on here telling you, wake up, Israel. This is Operation Wake Up, Jacob. We inherit lies because they opened up our books and painted the likeness of their image. Yahweh Shah said, listen, Smyrna, this is a representation of the oppressed true Jews. I know them that claim to be Jews, but they are not. This message to Smyrna is a message to the church suffering tribulation and poverty, letting them know that the fake Jews are the ones that's wealthy. The fake Jews are the ones that's protected. The fake Jews are the ones that's untouchable. The fake Jews is the ones that got political backing and global networks. The real Jews suffer persecution. The real Jews suffering tribulation. The real Jews living in poverty by and large. The real Jews, they was colonized. The real Jews was enslaved. The real Jews was scattered abroad. The real Jews are poor. The real Jews is the one they try to silence. The real Jews is the one being ridiculed. The real Jews is the ones that targeted. The real Jews is the one that's disenfranchised. My brothers and my sisters, wake up. You are the one. Prophecy is speaking to. You better go look at Deuteronomy chapter 28. Now, don't come back talking to me. 1948 is when they went back to the land. Even then, when he just promote all that crap, all that shit on TV, you know, they used to come on early in the morning or send some money so we can send them back to their home. All of that was lies. Even Adolf Hitler knew it was a lie. They're a synagogue of Satan. They got the global power structure that's built on a false Israelite identity. And you pay close attention to them, they never really refer to themselves as Israelites. They always refer to themselves as Israelis. Palestinians, but whatever they call themselves, Pakistanians, whatever they be calling themselves as Jews, they don't refer to themselves as Hebrew Israelite because they know they moving off of false. And go read the book of Maccabees. You see all this stuff was done. Even then, it was done even with the church of Smyrna, the dispensation of Smyrna. And it's still being done today. This is why they fear us waking up. That's why they fear this type of preaching. Why? Because they want us to be censored. They want us to go along with the rewriting of history they're trying to do. They want to smear our name. They want to keep us silent. They try to backlist us to the best of their ability. But what they don't know, you can't hold prophecy down. You can't hold the truth down because Yahweh HaMashiach himself in John chapter 4 around the 7-8 verse, he said, I am the way. I am the truth, and I am the life. You can't stop truth. You can't hold it down. Let's read on. I could stay there, man, because I done seen so much what these fake Jews that calling themselves Jews, the top hat people. I see so much that they're doing, and so many of our people still deceived. So many of our people still afraid. I got an uncle over here over there in the Detroit metro area, pastor in a church, and he still deceived, still lied to the people, still deceiving the people, still telling the people that they the real people, still participating in Christmas and Easter, all of these pagan holidays. He's lied to the people and made the Most High have mercy on him lest he repent. While people, it's time to wake up from this deception and lies. I bet you going to church right now and you got Christmas everywhere, Christmas trees set up, not knowing that part of the Babylonian system. Our people inherit lies. People in my family, they get mad at me. I know I probably got an uncle right now. He probably a little mad at me. I see him post, comments on everybody else's page, but on my page, they don't post nothing because they know I don't care. I'm here to preach truth and nothing but the truth. Why? Because the scripture said the truth make you free. Well, I still may believe that they are from, they may be from Abraham, but they're not from Abraham through the promise. Huh? Matter of fact, let me help you understand. Let's go to John chapter 8. I'm just going to grab this right quick. All right? Because Yahweh dealt with them in his day and time. One's just trying to steal an identity, trying to say something that they wasn't. Let's start around 38th verse. Let's see. Verse 9. Verse 39, they answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. Yahweh said it to them. You see what they said? Abraham, our father. He said, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. You tell me these so-called Jews, they doing the work of Abraham. Huh? He said, but now you seek to kill me, a man that have told you the truth. Every time we come on here and tell the truth, what they try to do, they try to kill it one way or another. Watch what it goes on. Which I have heard of Yahweh. This did not Abraham. You do the deeds of your father. Listen what he goes on to say. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even Yahweh. Yahweh said unto them, if Yahweh were your father, you would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from Yahweh. These people is the real people of the book. They'll love us because we came from the same people Yahweh came from. Watch what he goes on to say. Neither can I myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. You are of your father, the devil. And these people are of their father, the devil. The lust of your father will you do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abide not in the truth because there's no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he's a liar and the father of it. So these people, when I tell you they're mass murderers, they are liars, they are of their father, the devil. Well, they said he was from Abraham. You're right, they from Abraham. They from Abraham through Esau, the Edomites, not through Jacob. You got a book out here called The 13th Tribe. Go read it. It's telling on them. Huh? They are from Abraham, but they are from Abraham through Esau, not through Jacob. And you understand anything about the history of Edomites, you understand how they went to Idumeum, Mount Seir, and you understand how they missed there. Go read, like I said, go read Maccabees and all that. Go read, I think it's, shoot, I'm trying to get my mind working, Ezekiel 38 and 39, I believe it is also, right? Go read the whole book of Obadiah. It tell you about it. These people assimilated themselves, stole identities, missed their seed. All right, let's get back over here. I broke it down to y'all. It goes on to say, where we at? Let's get to verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Listen, I know you're suffering at the hand of these people that's claim to be Jews, but they are the synagogue of Satan and they're persecuting you. They even putting you, some of you to death. He said, but fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you. I just showed you who the devil is. The devil got a seed in this earth. The devil have a specific people that he's working through in this earth, and the specific people that he's working through in the earth right here. It says, Yahweh said, them that claim to be Jews are not. They're the synagogue of Satan. They doing the work of Satan. When Yahweh was on earth, when they went to the synagogue, he went there to the synagogue to do the work of the Most High, to heal, to raise the dead, to cast out demons, to restore. And by virtue of him going to the synagogue to do the work of the Most High, by Yahweh saying they had a synagogue of Satan, he said these people that claim to be Jews, they are doing the work of Satan. But fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried, and you should suffer tribulation 10 days. Watch this. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Yahweh ain't sugarcoating nothing right here. He didn't promise you a life of cupcakes. He didn't promise you a life of comfort. He didn't promise you a life of easy. He said, fear none of those things that thou shalt suffer. In this life, we're going to suffer. And the real people of the Most High are suffering by and large. It said, behold, the devil going to cast some of you into prison, and some of our people have been cast into prison. And they ain't just talking about physical prison. Huh? Matter of fact, let me grab this since we're going to talk about physical prison, because I want to show you all of this stuff is in the book. Let me see if I can find this. I think it's Isaiah 42. Let's see. Because it talk about, here we go right here, Isaiah 42 verse 22. It said, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. Talking about our people. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. When you go look at the prison houses, you will see so many of our people make up the number of prison houses. This was prophecy. Okay? And they will put you in prison. They can come up with all type of lies. They could come up with all type of policies to put your ass there. Our people are robbed. How many people lost their homes through unrighteousness? Our people was robbed doing sharecropping, working on that, and still didn't have it. Our people was robbed. We've been robbed ever since we've been on this soil called America. We've still been robbed to this day. Let me hop back over here. It says some of you will be cast into the prison. It's the devil doing it. Some of you will be cast into prison. He didn't promise us an easy life. He promises pressure. Yeah, you're going to suffer, man. Yeah, it's going to be a time where it's going to get tight. Some of you going to find yourself having to deal with hellish situations. And some of you, even right now, some of the brothers they're talking about how they been canceled. Some of you going to have to starve. Some of you have been silenced. But Yahweh said, fear none of those things. Because when you go do this, it's just setting you up for a promotion. He goes on to say, I will give you a crown. You listen, you just been set up for promotion. The devil going to cast a lot of you into prison, but you just been set up for promotion. You ain't talking about no cartoon character that they continue like to allow somebody dressing all red with a forked tongue and with a tail and all that. I ain't talking about that. The devil that's casting you into prison. It's talking about this governmental system. It's talking about the beast order. It's talking about the Roman Empire that's still being carried out through this Babylonian system we're living in. Talking about how they police this place. But listen to what he says. You should be have tribulation 10 days. In other words, there's a limited time frame, a controlled trial, a temporary test, a divine measured season of pressure. The enemy can attack you, but he can't go beyond the boundaries that Yahweh ordained for you. But I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this, even though you may be in the truth. Some people still going to have to suffer death, because he goes on to say this: be thou faithful unto death. He didn't say be faithful until days get easy again. No. He didn't say be faithful until you're not annoyed. No. He didn't say be faithful until he take your enemies. No, he said, no, I want you to be faithful even when you're looking death square in the eyes. Be faithful. It's going to cost some people their life. It's going to cost some people a life. Now, let me back up. Let me go to, that's my mind talking to me. Let's back up, because I told you that Smyrna is the persecuted church. And we deal with it literally, okay? We deal with it dispensationally, and we deal with it spiritually. And all that make it easier to help you understand it in a relevant way. Now watch this. The literal church Smyrna was dealing with persecution, and many of them was being put to death. But during the dispensation of time from 100 AD to 313 AD, okay, there was somebody that was a bishop of the Smyrna church. Those of you that know history, historicity tell us a man by the name of Polycarp, okay, or some of y'all might want to pronounce it Polycarp, however it's pronounced, but this man by the name, I'm going to just say Polycarp. Polycarp, he was the bishop down during this time from the dispensation of 100 AD, during that time as the church leader, okay? And he was a student. Hear me out. He was a student of the writer of this prophecy revelation, the one that received this revelation from Yahweh. It said, historicity says that Polycarp was a student of John the Revelator. So he didn't have no offset doctrine. He didn't have no watered down doctrine. He had a doctrine that was given from him, from Yahweh through Apostle John. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. So when he said, be faithful unto death, he was literally speaking also to the saints of that time, and he was speaking to the saints of that dispensation of time, one of them being Polycarp. Okay? This man, he learned from John, who wrote this prophecy. And he was a powerful man. He was a man that preached. He was a man that gave his life to winning souls. He was a man that gave his life to bringing people into the truth. But all at the same time, he was suffering persecution during this time. And he got so powerful, and Rome wanted to do with him so much that they sent people to Polycarp habitation. And when they got there, he knew that they was there for a reason. But watch this. I want y'all to pay attention to this. Polycarp remained faithful to Yahweh even in the face of death. Go look at me up. Go fact check me, okay? Go fact check me. So when the soldiers got to Polycarp's house, his habitation, he didn't run, he didn't hide, he didn't become afraid, he didn't get into a panic. Matter of fact, historicity said Polycarp cooked a whole meal for the soldiers that was coming to take him to his death. I want you to think about that. He fed these men that was getting ready to take him to this death, to be put to death by Rome. He prayed for hours. And after he fed the man, after he fed the soldiers, after he prayed for hours, he looked the soldiers in the eye and said, okay, I'm ready to march to my death. I'm ready to be a martyr for Yahweh. Listen, he said, be faithful unto death. We're dealing with a literal situation right here, according to historicity. Okay? So he was on trial. He was on trial for his preaching. He was on trial for not turning his back on Yahweh. He was on trial for preaching the truth. He was on trial for being faithful to Yahweh. And while he was on trial, while Rome was getting ready to kill him, while Rome was trying to humble this man, while Rome was trying to totally annihilate and break this man, he stayed faithful even in the face of death. So while he was on trial, they told him, Polycarp, I want you to look at them people and say, away with the atheists. And then I want you to curse Christ and swear by Caesar. And if you do this, we'll let you go. This is what they told him while he was on trial. They said, if you want to save your life, if you want to live, if you want to go back to your family, if you want to go back to your children, if you want to be able to continue to do it, this is all we expect you to do. We want you to look at them group of people and say, away with the atheists. Then we want you to curse Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, other words, Jesus the Christ. Then we want you to proclaim Caesar as Lord, and we'll let you go. Historicity says, Polycarp looked at them people and say, away with the atheists. And then when it came time for him to curse Christ, he said, I swear I have lived 86 years. And I have served Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And listen to me, Rome. Listen to me, Caesar. Listen to me, soldiers. I can't curse him because Yahweh Shah, as long as I've been alive for 86 years, Yahweh Shah had never wronged me. I can't blaspheme Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. I can't swear by Caesar. I can't do it because I love him so much. And he sounds like the old fathers. He sounds like the old mothers of the church when they used to say, I love Yahweh. Because he heard my cry. He heard my groan. As long as I live, I will hasten to. That's what he said. I can't curse him. I'm 86 years old. He sounds like David over there in Psalms. See, let me bring it up so you understand what I'm saying. This is how he sounds. He knew the scriptures. He knew what to say. Over here, let's see what it says. Where is it at? Right here. This is what Polycarp testimony was. Verse 25 of Psalm 37. I have been young, and now I am old. In other words, I'm 86 years old, and I have served him, and he never wronged me. I have been young, now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. It's right here on the screen. He was loyal. Polycarp was loyal. Rome tied him up. Rome stacked the wood so high while the soldiers and while the crowd watched on. And they set the wood on fire where Polycarp was at. And it says, historicity says that Polycarp told them, you don't have to nail me. Leave me as I am. Yahweh, who gives me strength, will help me to endure this fire and to remain enabled to be unmoved by the flames of this fire. Go check me out. Go fact check me, okay? And historicity says that when Polycarp was in the midst of the fire, the flames didn't even touch him. That's what it means when Yahweh Shah said right here. Let's go. That's what it means when it said, be faithful unto death. Polycarp was faithful even unto death while they was burning him in the flame. Don't that sound like the 3 Hebrew boys down in the fire furnace in Daniel chapter 3? He didn't curse Christ. He didn't say Caesar was Lord. He didn't swear by Caesar. He said, no, I'm 86 years old. He never wronged me. I got to continue to I got to continue to serve him even in the face of death. He said, you don't got to nail me. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to run away. Set the fire. I'm going to stay right here. He walked straight to his death. And historicity says, hear me out. Historicity says, while the flames was burning Polycarp, he was unmoved. The flames couldn't even do nothing to him. The flames couldn't even get near him. And when they saw Rome, Caesar, and all the people that was in authority at the time, and they saw that the flames could not take Polycarp out, somebody standing nearby say, oh, he's not dying. So they got a sword, they got a dagger, and they stabbed Polycarp to death. That's how he died. And historicity said, while they were stabbing him to death, the blood that was coming from Polycarp was quenching the flames of fire. Polycarp was faithful unto death. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what's coming down the pipe. But Yahweh said, be faithful unto death. If they're going to tell you to turn away your faith, if they're going to tell you to stop following the truth, he said, no, be faithful unto death. If they're going to come and persecute you, if they're going to come and try to mock you, no. He said, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how worse it seems, I want you to be faithful unto death. And he goes and say, if you be faithful unto death, I will. Can you imagine Yahweh Shah coming to you and placing a crown on your head, placing victory on your head, placing conquering on your head, placing overcoming on your head? He said, I will give thee a crown of life. Smyrna represents the persecuted church. It represents the persecution of the saints that suffer the most and complain the least. They during this time never folded. They continue to praise Yahweh Shah without rebuke. They stay real right in the midst of a fake society. They refuse Rome slavery. They said, if I die, let me die, but I'm not bowing to this wicked beast system. If I have to lose my life, I'm not going to give up my faith. I'm not going to give up this truth. They said if we have to watch everyone around us lose their life, I'm not going to swear by Caesar. I'm not going to curse Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. I'm going to remain faithful even unto death. This is the remnant spirit we have to have today, y'all. When this Babylonian systems try to censor us, we must remember this church down in Smyrna. We must remember how Polycarp faced death. We must remember that Yahweh Shah said, be faithful even unto death. When the society try to mock righteousness, try to mock this truth, try to mock us as the people of the Most High, we must remember the church down in Smyrna. When we got our own brothers and sisters selling out to this Babylonian system, selling out to the matrix, selling out, compromising their soul for money, selling out, compromising their soul for clout, selling out, compromising their soul for riches. We have to remember this church of Smyrna and be faithful even in the faith of death. When this system turns hostile because we standing for the truth, we got to remember this church down in Smyrna. This church in Smyrna is a blueprint for surviving the last days with boldness. It's a blueprint for even having honor in this day and time. It's a blueprint for spiritual riches. He said, I know thou worst the tribulation, poverty, but thou art rich. This is our blueprint to be able to survive Jacob trouble coming, to be able to survive the MOTB, to be able to survive the nukes that's coming to bring this place down as the lake of fire. You have to be faithful even in the face of death. Every time they lie on you, remember the church of Smyrna. Every time you betrayed by the people you love and they persecute you, remember this church down in Smyrna. Every time they try to imprison you, remember this church down in Smyrna. Every time you suffer oppression, every time you suffer racism, remember this church down in Smyrna. And Yahweh Shah said, be thou faithful unto death. And if you be faithful, I will give you a crown of life. Hit the like and subscribe button. All right, peace.